Hey Bowtie Nation, Joseph Hogue here with a breakout trend that could be your best investment of 2026. Prices on cryptocurrencies surged Tuesday, with Bitcoin up almost 4% and Ethereum jumping 10% on the day. While the media and online pundits were quick to credit the coming Fed cut, the truth was on secret foreign buying and momentum for regulation in Congress. And that means the surge in price could be just the beginning, with prediction market Polymarket users putting 20% odds that Bitcoin closes next year above $200,000 each for a 116% run. And longtime bull Tom Lee forecasts Ethereum at $62,000 in the coming months, a target to an 1,800% return. Lee's forecast revolves around what I'm going to show you here, proof that crypto tokenization and stablecoins will define 2026. We may not hit that 18x prediction to 62,000, but I'm going to show you 3 stocks to buy and 1 strategy to get shares of my favorite stock for just 87 cents each, turning it into a penny stock with massive potential. The upside I've been talking about in Ethereum was confirmed earlier this month in an article by BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, at one time one of crypto's biggest skeptics, but now admitting that digital currencies will transform finance. In that article, the CEO of the world's largest asset manager compares tokenization to where the internet was in 1996, just before the massive boom in stocks. Now remember, tokenization is just using the blockchain technology and then cryptocurrencies like Ethereum to create digital versions of stocks, real estate, and other investments. It would not only make investing faster and less expensive, but would make investments accessible to everyone around the globe. Robinhood's CEO Vlad Tenev has said tokenization is like a freight train. It cannot be stopped, and eventually it's going to eat the entire financial system, leading to a market that could grow from just $600 billion this year to $19 trillion by 2033. But then that's just the fundamental base to this story, the long-term upside pushing Ethereum higher. The rocket fuel behind this week's 10% jump was on 2 events pushing crypto up right now. First was on news of secret buying of crypto by sovereign wealth funds. Central banks and sovereign funds have been buying gold over the last 2 years, causing its price to double as the world moves away from the US dollar. Now we're seeing sovereign investment funds from Abu Dhabi to Luxembourg buying into cryptocurrencies, further diversifying away from the dollar. Also this week, Democrats and Republicans in the Senate met to work through differences on a key crypto market structure bill. The legislation follows passage of the Genius Act on stablecoin regulation earlier this year and is critical to clearing that way for tokenization. The 2 sides met behind closed doors on Monday, with positive commentary on the meeting helping to drive those crypto prices on Tuesday. The major banks supporting the legislation are also meeting with lawmakers this week, further pushing that passage. Nation, tokenization and stablecoins are coming, and they are going to be the biggest change to finance since the internet boom opened investing to everyone. I'm going to reveal 3 ways to invest ahead of this new era, but a lot of this comes down to Ethereum, the toll road on that shift. Ethereum is the infrastructure under tokenization and stablecoins, collecting fees and seeing the price of that crypto surge. To invest in this, I've been buying shares of the iShares Ethereum Trust ETF, that's the ticker ETHA, as well as the Grayscale Mini Trust, the ticker ETH. Now, both of these ETFs, they buy futures on Ethereum to track the price of Ethereum exactly. It's a great way to buy into the cryptocurrency without a Coinbase account, without a cryptocurrency account, and without some of the safety risks in those. And you can see here from the chart that these ETFs track the price of Ethereum almost exactly, so you are getting an investment in Ethereum. And while I think Ethereum and this ETF could double or more over the next year, I've got a way to turn this into a penny stock, getting those shares for less than $1, leveraging your returns up even higher. The synthetic long option strategy gives you the same upside in a stock's price, but at a fraction of the cost, and can turn any stock into a penny stock. Now, I know options can be confusing, so I'm going to show you exactly how this works, but you set this up by buying a call option and then selling a put option at the same strike price. That gives you the right to buy the shares for a set price. You can see in this graph the same upside to buying the stock outright. Folks, with stocks reaching record highs, especially those in the growth themes, and all the Magnificent 7 stocks into the hundreds of dollars per share, it is getting increasingly difficult to find penny stocks, much less stocks for under $5 or $10 per share. This synthetic long option strategy is your best bet at turning any stock into a penny stock and getting those same high potential returns. For example, we can go to the options available on that Ethereum trust. Here you can find options expiring in weeks to months, even out as far as 2027. I'm going to be using the options expiring in April 2026 here. And the idea is this gives us enough time to get real movement and maybe even passage on the Clarity Act, which would mean a huge sentiment boost for crypto. So then this position would be open through mid-April, and we're going to be using calls and puts for the strategy. Remember, buying a call option gives you the right to buy the stock at a set price, while selling a put option means you're selling for that price. And again, I know it can seem confusing, but this works to give you exactly the same exposure as just buying the stock, but for way less. So here, if we buy the call options with a strike price of $25, we're going to be paying $4.75 for those options, the right to buy the shares of the ETHA for that $25 price through April 17th. Then, at the same time, we're going to be selling the put options at the same $25 strike price and collecting $3.88, paying $4.75, but then collecting that $3.88 to offset it means our total cost is just 87 cents per share. We can get exposure to this $25 stock for less than $1. Now, I've set this up in our options calculator to show you how it works and how it's going to leverage your return even higher. We set it up by buying that call option and selling the put, and you can see in the payoff chart, it looks exactly like it would just buying the stock, but with a huge difference. Remember, each option contract is for 100 shares of this stock. You're going to pay 87 cents per share, or $8.70 total for those 100 shares. So if you follow the total payoff amount across the bottom, you're going to see how much this can make. If this ETF goes back to $30 a share, which is where it was just 2 months ago, you will make $456 on this option strategy, a profit of $456 on an investment that only cost you $8.70. That is a 5,200% return on your money. Now you gotta understand here, this isn't all rainbows and unicorns either. If the stock does fall, you will lose money just as if you had bought the stock. But with that upside momentum in Ethereum and crypto in place, this is a very good risk-return trade-off. I know all the options talk can seem like a foreign language, but there are so many things you can do with these, from that synthetic long to other strategies that increase your returns, create monthly income, and even protect your money from a crash. To help you get started, I'm relaunching my Ultimate Options course. Over 3 hours of video, I start with the basics, then walk you through 29 option strategies, when to use each, and how to set it up, including a real-world example with shares of Tesla. The course also comes with a one-of-a-kind strategy finder to help you find the right option strategy and an options calculator to show you exactly what to expect. Right now, I'm relaunching the course at a 38% discount. Save $150 off. You're going to get all the basics to get you started, the strategy finder to make sure you're using the best strategy, the options calculator to show you exactly how much you can make, walkthroughs on all 29 strategies, and a 14-day money-back guarantee. That $150 launch discount is only available with the coupon code in the link I'll leave in the description below, so look for that link or just scan the QR code here. Another way to invest in this coming cryptocurrency boom is with the ProShares Bitcoin and Ether Equal Weight ETF, the ticker BETE. Now this is handled just like that Ethereum trust, except this one owns Bitcoin as well, so you're getting Bitcoin and Ethereum. While I do prefer the upside in Ethereum on that stablecoin and tokenization theme, Bitcoin is going to go along with it, and we saw earlier that prediction for $200,000 on the price of Bitcoin. For any of these ETFs, you can always go to the ETF page to see how it's set up and what's in it. You can see here in the Bitcoin and Ether Equal Weight ETF, if you go down to holdings here, you can see, again, these are managed with futures on both of those. So this fund holds Ether and Bitcoin futures that allows it to track the price of Ethereum and Bitcoin almost exactly. And you can see here it's almost 50-50. 51% in Ether futures, 48.8% there in Bitcoin futures. Next, I'm going to reveal a crypto ETF that gives you all the upside of this theme, but then giant safety to the downside, along with an inside way to find all the stocks in this idea. But folks, your portfolio cannot just be about crypto. That's why I'm updating my portfolio in the video here, revealing the 3 totally new stocks I'm buying for 2026 and the 3 I'm selling, so make sure you check that out next. And that ETF I've just started buying, the Amplify Blockchain Technology ETF, the ticker BLOK. We can see here on the Amplify ETF website all the details about the fund. It holds 54 stocks in this idea. I'm going to show you what those are and why this is important next, but it's investing in securities of companies actively involved in the development and utilization of those blockchain technologies. So not just the cryptocurrencies themselves, like Ether, like Bitcoin, but the companies that are really making all of this possible as well. We can scroll down here. We can see in the industry allocations here, we can see the industries platforms. 30% of the stocks in this, 30% of those 54 stocks are in those platforms, the Coinbase, the Robinhood, making cryptocurrencies accessible to investors. We can see 20% of those. 20% are in the miners. So you've got Riot, you've got Hut 8, the miners mining those cryptocurrencies, making fees off of those. Then the application is going to be even more important. 12% of those 54 stocks in those applications, making tokenization, making stable coins and other applications, making all that possible. Then you've got 12% in the cryptocurrencies themselves. Okay, so 12% of this is direct exposure into Ethereum, into Bitcoin, into other cryptocurrencies, as well as 11%. Really like this one, those venture capital, venture funds, or venture investments that you might not have access to otherwise, except through this ETF. So you're going to get early stage pre-IPO stock investments in this fund. We can scroll up here, see the top 10 stocks in there, or click view all holdings. We see all 54 stocks in this fund. Again, going to be platforms like Robinhood Markets, going to be Coinbase, going to be your Hut 8 and your Riot blockchain miners, going to be other stocks in that, PayPal Holdings, it's doing applications on this. Also going to be other more tangential stuff like BlackRock, largest asset manager in the world, very aggressively moving cryptocurrencies and these technologies into its own business model, as well as companies like Block, like the CME Group, the exchange that runs those futures. And one thing why I like this even more, not just as a direct investment in this ETF, but just to look at these stocks and get an idea of other stocks that you might want to invest in. Okay, this is a great resource to mine for other stocks that you might want to invest in. So you can go down this list, you can go down these 54 stocks, do further research, which ones are going to most benefit from this coming era of tokenization and stablecoins, and buy some of these stocks individually. Get your $150 discount and learn how to use options to boost returns, lower risk, and create income with the link to our options course in the description below. Don't forget to join the Let's Talk Money community by tapping that subscribe button and clicking the bell notification.